So remember those old videos on why the critics can't be trusted anymore? Well, we all know the critics are not really trustworthy. When I look for a movie to watch, I base it off usually basically what I want to see. Because the critics cannot really be trustworthy. And audience score are heavily graded by expressing IMDb is still heavily graded by those critics that will drive down a movie reviews. For example, Godzilla King of the Monsters, for example, was dragged down by the same critics as well. So we'll be going over why critics can't be trusted. 2020 edition. So we're going over 3 movies, first of all. Okay, Sonic the Hedgehog, Cuties, which is one of the worst movies ever made, and Mulan. Okay, Mulan. Okay, not Monster Warrior. Disney's remake of Mulan. Here. These movies all came out in 2020. Okay, so Sonic movie, pretty great movie, especially if you're a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, guess what the critics gave it? Oh, only 63%. Even though most of the Sonic fans, most of us, gave it a 93%, because Sonic movie is pretty fun, pretty great. Even if we gave it a 4 out of 5, it's still a good score. I think it's probably one of the best video game movies ever made. But according to the critics, 63, that's a pretty respectful amount. But I'll tell you 2 movies that it is lower than, according to the critics. The critics think Sonic is worse than. Okay? Mulan 2020 is the first one. 75%. But only 51% liked Mulan. Nobody liked this movie because it's a pile of shit. It's funny how talking to Mulan for audiences to finally realize how bad a Disney remakes are. I've been saying this for years. The only good Disney remake that they ever made was Jungle Book, and that's it. All the rest of them suck. Alice in the Wonderland, Maleficent have not seen, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and The Lion King. Let's not forget that. Dumbo. All of these movies completely suck. They're complete garbage. Okay? And Mulan is no exception. I'm not buying Disney Plus and paying $40 just to watch, a movie that I watched a lot when I was a kid. I don't have the movie anymore, Mulan. Ruined by this garbage. They even removed Mushu. Like, why did they remove Mushu? He was like one of the best parts of the movie. It's like making a remake of The Lion King, but we Timon and Pumbaa for no reason. Okay? And this movie just flopped spectacular. I'm not going to need more controversial parts of Mulan. But yeah, this film was filmed in a no place in China. That's all I have to tell you. And of course, Cuties. One of the worst movies ever made. Cuties is kind of like making a movie against drug abuse, but supposed to keep taking drugs throughout the movie. Cuties is a movie that completely contradicts the thing that Cuties is trying to prevent. We all know what this movie's about. And guess what? The critics gave it an 86%. An 86%. Is this movie really deserving of an 86%? I know this movie won an award at Sundance, but Sundance is just they give some pretty weird movies good scores. But Cuties is currently at 86%, but only 15% of the audiences like the movie. And I won't be surprised how many bots are involved in that audience score rising up to 15%. Same thing with the IMDb score. Because most people I know hate this movie and wish this movie never existed. But apparently, Sonic is worse. By the critics' standards. By the eyes of these fools called the critics than Cuties and Mulan. Okay? And the eyes of the critics, it is considered worse. The same thing of Alita. Okay? Same thing of Alita. Okay? Came out last year. In the eyes of the critics, they would rather watch. Okay, and they even the Oscars, they refused to put Alita on the best CGI. But they'll probably put Mulan. Don't worry about that. They'll put Mulan because Disney obviously paid to put the Lion King remake on the best CGI. and Avengers Endgame, that was obvious, but Alita, they refused to put down best CGI because of course the Oscars, they hate Alita. You know, no matter how many times he said that this movie should have been on there, the Oscars like, oh, we're not gonna put Alita on there. It doesn't deserve to be on there. They did, and yeah, and here we go. Alita struggles to keep up with the special effects, even though they gave Mulan a worse movie in every way by the audiences. Oh, it could have told the classic story of death, but the live action Mulan is a visual marvel that serves as an update to the animated processor. But then this is the critic saying, but fans of the future sci-fi find themselves more softly entertained. So you're basically saying that Alita's story sucks, but Mulan, a movie that's about a Mary Sue, is amazing. Okay? It's amazing. It's just a completely stupid, okay? Mulan, a complete garbage movie, gets a higher score. Okay? Complete garbage movie. Here. And yep, and some of these scores, and you look at some of the articles about Alita back in the day, people were complaining that Alita's too sexy. This movie appeals toward the male gaze. Even though they give Cuties a 10 out of 10, don't worry about that. And Cuties appeals towards a worse demographic, if you know what I'm talking about. It appeals towards a worse audience, worse demographic, if I'm talking about. The creep audience, basically. You know, the Master Rosie type audience. Here. But, again, this is the critics. They don't like this movie. They gave it 61%, okay? Godzilla. Okay, not for Godzilla. Okay? Let's look at Godzilla. Godzilla is an epic movie. Almost as epic as Endgame. Okay? Okay, I don't know what's going on here. Okay, Godzilla. We all know. Well, okay, if it will show up here, Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Here, and yeah, we all know the critics played a role into this movie not underperforming at the box office. And again, it was also competing with Endgame and John Wick, which are two also pretty big franchises. But here was the critics score, a 43%. Like, really? 43%? And it's 83% for the audience score. That hasn't really changed here. But Godzilla King of the Monsters was epic. Epic. Okay? But, we can't give Godzilla good scores. We gave the other one good scores, and they said, but Godzilla could have had more Godzilla. But they're complaining about freaking Godzilla being in the movie. And the kind that, substitutes are still no substitute for a good story. Well, it's a Godzilla movie. It's about Godzilla. Okay? It's basically a lot like the older movies, but without all the cheesiness and the battles. Okay? And again, the critics hated this movie. They hate this movie. Again, let's go even further. Booksmart was a few classic comedies. Okay, Booksmart, a movie that nobody cared about, that no one watched. Okay. Let's compare it. Okay. Here is, not that one. The old one of John Candy, not whatever that disgrace is. That's not the real Uncle Buck. The real one is with John Candy. It'll always be the real one. The movie got 61%. One of the funniest movies I have ever seen, Uncle Buck, is apparently worse than Booksmart. Way worse, by fact. It has a 61%, that same score as Alita Battle Angel. Okay? But of course, they'll give garbage like Booksmart a 96%. They'll give trash like this a 96%. Or even let's look up some classic Jim Carrey movies. Like Wire, Ace Ventura. You know that they have lower scores than Booksmart. Because they hate it. Jim Carrey, they don't really have amazing stories. Why had an 80%, but it's not elevated like, Booksmart. Booksmart's amazing to them. 82%, which is pretty respectable for any movie, or especially the Ace Ventura movies, which they hated. As well, they hated Ace Ventura. Okay, but they loved Booksmart, which is just odd because Booksmart is completely one of the least funny movies ever made. So Ace Ventura, Where Nature's Calls, with Pet Detective, both are pretty funny classic movies. Oh, 30%. 30%. This movie is funny. This movie is really funny. And you're telling me that it's a 30% critics. Okay? And again, we can go over many, many more comedies that I like. But again, the critics hate it, but most people actually like them because they're pretty funny. But yeah, Booksmart, of course, they'll give Booksmart high scores. Okay? And then let's go to Star Wars. Okay? Star Wars The Last Jedi. One of the worst Star Wars movies ever made. Okay? Well, according to the critics, it's a 90%. According to the critics, The Last Jedi, one of the worst Star Wars movies ever made, is a 90%. Okay? I'd rather watch episode 1 100 times than watch the mess of Star Wars. Okay? That was episode 1 was made with passion and love. Even if you hate Jar Jar Binks, it was still made with passion and love. Unlike Star Wars, Disney's Star Wars was just complete garbage. Another movie that they love is Captain Marvel. And yeah, and of course they gave Captain Marvel is actually one of the lowest rated MCU movies. But they still couldn't give it. But again, Captain Marvel. Oh wait, they can't. It doesn't even show up. That's how bad. But again. But now let's go to the most egregious one. We all know Batwoman. Batwoman is one of the worst shows of all time. 80% critics liked it. Okay, let's compare it to Joker. Okay, Joker, considered one of the best movies I've seen. It's very amazing. Very amazing movie about a character. Very amazing character. Wait. Only a 68%? You're telling me that the critics would rather watch garbage, bullcrap like Batwoman than Joker. I can go with many, many more examples. Okay, streaming. We have Enola Holmes, which is complete woke garbage. Well, of course, the critics loved it. Okay, complete woke bullcrap. That not many people really like. Mulan as well. They loved Mulan as well. Complete garbage. Okay? And of course, a lot of these types of movies. Enola Holmes. Woke feminist bullcrap. Let's give that 91%. Okay? Venom. That movie is garbage. 0 out of 10. Never watched that movie according to the critics. They give that a 27%. Okay? And yeah, Enola Holmes is it's a woke pile of garbage. Okay? Well, again, this is on the same part. This is the same critics who praise. And again, they gave this movie a higher score than Joker. They gave a higher score than Sonic, Godzilla. Okay? Midway, one of the best war movies of 2019. Not as great as 1917, though. But still a pretty great movie. Well, guess what? The critics hated the movie because it was historically accurate. And the CGI wasn't that great to them. What were they expecting? Were they expecting like Avengers level CGI? Okay, they were expecting it's not Avengers level CGI. 0 out of 10. Avengers, not Avengers level, not Avengers quality. I bet if this movie was made by Disney, it would have a 70%. It would have like a 60%. Okay, a well-known story of modern special effects and a meal balanced point of view. And Michael Reed and Sock, 92% of the audience liked the movie. And when I wanted to see this movie, I thought this movie was going to be bad because guess what? The stupid critics was, of course, they'll give Booksmart 91%. They'll give, Enola Holmes garbage. But Midway, a movie that is about, America and about one of the most important battles in World War II, basically a movie that is basically pro America, that is about American patriotism against the Japanese in World War II. Well, that movie is complete garbage. But no, wait, okay, watch a movie about okay, we're not gonna mention cuties, but watch a garbage but they would rather watch a garbage version of Mulan than watch Midway. Okay, Midway is basically every history nerd's like favorite movie, essentially. Okay, but the critics they don't like it. They don't like it. They don't like it. But they don't like Venom either. They hate that movie. Venom was amazing. Okay, everybody I know said Venom was amazing, except for like two people, and those people didn't really like. And again, Venom only had a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes, according to the critics. Again, and now Rambo 5. Rambo 5 is not my favorite Rambo movie, but it's considered one of the worst Rambo movies ever made. Rambo Last Blood, 26%. Okay? Or Peppermint. If you want to go to politically biased, you know, and you got those like 5 or 6 articles saying Rambo is a racist movie. You should never see Rambo ever. Okay, and the same thing with the movie Peppermint, which came out a year before, which have similar villains in the movie. Guess what? The critics hated both movies. They hated both movies. Peppermint was an okay movie, but it's not a 1 out of 10 movie. Okay, but again, they gave Cuties a 0 out of 10 movie, an 86%. So you think that and that's why I'm hesitant about Soul score, because it's the same thing over and over again. Whenever the critics give a movie good reviews, it's not gonna be that great. Okay, it's not gonna be that great because that's the divide between the critics and audiences now over the past like 3 or 4 years have become so great and so big. Okay, there are very few movies that the critics, and the audiences can agree on. Okay, movies like John Wick, the critics loved. Because now critics, all they do is judge movies based off wokeness, feminism, and all that woke stuff that nobody wants in movies. And of course, they're going to try to shove this woke garbage down people's throats, like Noah Holmes, Booksmart. They're going to try to shove that garbage down people's throats. That's why I'm very hesitant about the score. I know it's Pixar, and again, Pixar movies usually get good reviews, but considering how the critics have been with movies over the past 2 years, especially giving garbage like Birds of Prey such high scores. Okay, Birds of Prey is another example. Nobody liked Birds of Prey. Nobody watched it, but the critics loved Birds of Prey. They were calling it like it's the best DC movie ever made. Justice League was better than Birds of Prey. That's how bad Birds of Prey is. Justice League is better, has better action and CGI than this movie. Okay, Joker is a better movie than Birds of Prey. Okay, but again, they gave this movie a 78%. Even though the movie is saying at 6.1 on IMDb, and this picture of Harley Quinn is scaring me. I'm out of here. That they use. Or she just stares into your soul. Ironically, the last movie was named Soul. That I was talking about. But yeah, the critics are not really trustworthy. You can't really trust them anymore, okay? I've been saying this for the longest time. The critics are not really critics anymore. They judge movie based off wokeness, based off, how woke a movie can be, not based off how good a movie can be anymore. Not based off, anything good, okay? Anything good. Okay, that's why, back in the day, 20 years ago, Alita Wolf probably got a 91%. 20 years ago, the movie came out in 2000. Alita Wolf got a 91% or something like that. But the fact that the critics are so divided between the woke and non-woke critics, the fact that all the woke critics are going to review bomb movies that they don't like, that have politics that they don't like. Okay, one example is Knock Down the House. Okay, compared to, everyone want to go to political movies compared to any movie that speaks positively about the president as well. But any movie that praises, certain people in a certain party, they'll give it a 10 out of 10. Yeah, the critics don't tell. They don't even want to review this movie. The critics. This is a documentary about, Yeah, that stuff. And it actually was the best on DVD on Amazon when the movie came out on DVD. But yeah, the critics can't be trusted anymore. Okay, let's look at some of these scores that they have for these movies here. And you know, the same people who dislike certain movies are the same people who like other movies. I'm not talking about movies that I have that are considered unpopular opinions, like actual movies that are considered not so great but I like. I'm talking about movies that a lot of people said were good or decent, but the critics were like, "Oh my god, this movie, it's so racist! 0 out of 10!" You know, there, and yeah, the critics, they have, and yeah, the critics, yeah, you have kind of won out, okay? The fact that they're willing to give garbage like Batwoman a 10 out of 10, but they won't give, but they'll be hesitant to give Joker a 10 out of 10, and review bombs to make so Joker has a lower score is absolute proof that the critics are losing touch with the audience. So look at Captain Marvel. If it was so up again, if it was so up. Oh, there we go. Captain Marvel 79%. Same score as Birds of Prey and Batwoman. Okay, but Alita and Sonic. Oh no, we can't have that. We don't like that. Okay, you know, or Godzilla. No, that's too much action. Well, Captain Marvel has even a worse story than Midway, Godzilla, and Rambo 5. Captain Marvel is probably has one of the worst stories of any Marvel movie. But of course, they give Captain Marvel a 79%, of course. Because it's about feminism, we gotta give it a 10 out of 10. There are some movies where they actually woke up their sense to. Okay, Dark Phoenix is one. Man Back to the After was another one. Okay, Dark Phoenix, everybody was expecting this movie to get 80% because it's similar to Captain Marvel. A similar plot, you know, and also was trying to whip off Civil War, which, again, Civil War, if you want to watch a movie about two superhero sides, you know, fighting against each other later on in the movie over one reason, let's watch Civil War, don't watch this. But for the few times that critics actually come to agree on movies sucking, is now very, very well. That, you know, there. And the critics were like, acting like Dark Phoenix was going to be the greatest movie of all time. Like Captain Marvel. And it failed. Dark Phoenix failed, became one of the biggest flops for Disney, like John Carter, you know, and a lot of other flops. And that's basically it about this video. I think I've gone far too long. I think I've made my point. The critics are completely useless as well. You know, there as well. They'll give garbage from this movies a 10 out of 10. Woke garbage a 10 out of 10. Okay? And they'll give all the good movies, they'll give it mixed reviews. Okay? Mixed reviews. Don't worry about that. They'll give it mixed reviews. Okay? And that's basically it. Goodbye.